Timothée Chalamet doesn't just star in great movies, he has incredible taste in them too. Want to know what inspires Hollywood's golden boy? Being gay in Edwardian England wasn't just frowned upon, it was basically illegal. That's the suffocating world Maurice Hall inhabits in Maurice, as he wrestles with his desires and a relationship with his Cambridge confidant, Clive Durham, all while society breathes down their necks. Directed by James Ivory, yes, that James Ivory who co-wrote Call Me By Your Name, this 1987 classic delivers a poignant, unapologetic look at love and repression. Timothée Chalamet once called working with Ivory incredible, which tracks since Maurice laid the groundwork for many of today's queer period dramas. This Belgian tearjerker follows a bluegrass musician and a tattoo artist whose love story is as moving as the music that binds them. 7 years into their relationship, their world is shattered when their daughter falls gravely ill. Directed by Felix van Groningen, The Broken Circle Breakdown is a gut-wrenching study of love, loss, and resilience. Timothée Chalamet once called the film heartbreaking and perfect, which explains why he jumped at the chance to work with Groningen on Beautiful Boy. Leave it to Luca Guadagnino to turn a wealthy Milanese family's drama into an operatic explosion of passion and heartbreak. In I Am Love, Tilda Swinton commands the screen as Emma, a matriarch whose carefully curated life unravels after she falls for a talented chef. Before Timothée Chalamet starred in Call Me By Your Name, he was already fangirling over Guadagnino's work. He cited I Am Love as one of his favorites, specifically gushing about a scene where Swinton and nature collide. The intimacy with the grass and the insects just jumps out at me. Christopher Abbott, known for Girls, delivers a powerhouse performance as James White, a spiraling New Yorker barely keeping it together while his mother, Cynthia Nixon, faces terminal cancer. As Gail's health declines, James's self-destructive tendencies threaten to unravel both of them. Writer-director Josh Mond poured his own grief into this raw, deeply personal film, making every moment feel painfully authentic. Timothée Chalamet once called it his favorite movie, saying, "It felt like watching a man's journey." Richard Linklater, the genius behind Dazed and Confused and Before Sunrise, takes a sharp left turn with Bernie, a black comedy about a small-town funeral director turned murderer. Jack Black shines as Bernie, the overly charming assistant funeral director who befriends Marjorie, Shirley MacLaine, a nasty, rich widow, until their friendship ends in an unexpected crime. Even Timothée Chalamet is obsessed, admitting he's watched it 12 times. "Jack Black is so incredible in that movie," he said. Lars von Trier never met a boundary he didn't want to obliterate, and Nymphomaniac is no exception. Split into 2 parts, this provocative epic follows Jo, a woman recounting her life of sexual exploration and compulsions to a stranger who finds her beaten in an alley. Love him or hate him, von Trier delivers a raw, explicit exploration of the human psyche that's equal parts art and shock therapy. Even Timothée Chalamet has tried to articulate its power, calling it so tangible on screen. Guess it's the kind of movie you watch once, then spend a lifetime processing or recovering from. If Nymphomaniac is chaos, My Night at Maud's is precision. Directed by Eric Romer, this French New Wave classic strips love, faith, and intimacy down to their most essential questions. The plot? Devout Catholic Jean-Louis spends an evening of intense conversation with Maud, a confident, free-spirited divorcee, challenging everything he thinks he knows about morality and desire. Timothée Chalamet watched it at Greta Gerwig's suggestion while filming Lady Bird and calls it one of his favorite movies since then. Blue Valentine dissects the rise and fall of Dean and Cindy's marriage, flipping between their head-over-heels beginnings and their gut-wrenching, bitter end. Ryan Gosling and Michelle Williams don't just act, they ache on screen, delivering career-defining and Oscar-nominated performances that make you feel every ounce of their joy and despair. Even Timothée Chalamet called it his favorite love story because the acting's so good in that. Xavier Dolan's Mommy isn't just intense, it's a visual and emotional gut punch. Set in a dystopian-ish Canada, where parents can institutionalize troubled kids, the film follows Diane as she battles to raise her explosive ADHD-diagnosed son Steve. His violent outbursts are no match for her determination, but stability feels like a distant dream. Timothée Chalamet is a major Dolan fan and praised Mommy for its bold choices, calling it unlike anything he'd seen visually. In a dreary Danish village where fun goes to die, two devout sisters devote their lives to serving their equally joyless congregation. Then Babette, a French refugee, shows up and flips their gray little world by serving the meal of a lifetime. The film snagged the 1988 Oscar for Best Foreign Language Film. Timothée Chalamet even gave it a shout-out, calling it excellent.